to another exciting episode of the Shots Fired podcast. As usual, you got your boy Big Joe.
You got your boy Julio the Don.
You got your boy J-Had.
You got J-Had running this board a little behind. I don't know what's going on over there. Okay. So we got a hell of a show lined up for you tonight. We've got the announcement of Drew Brees retiring from the NFL after 20 years of service. We have a top 3 list that if you were born in the 80s, this will be a little bit of nostalgia for you. We have a bro code that kind of asks a question that we see a lot more nowadays in society and what's kind of becoming more, I would say more frequent, more, what would you say? Just something you see a lot more of. And we're just kind of asking each other, what do you think is the right thing to do? When is the time to do it? But before we get into all that, y'all know what we got to start off with. We got to start off with what?
WTF Moment of the week. Let's go.
What the? And boys, let me tell you, we got a WTF that when I saw it, I was like, oh, that's making the episode this week without a doubt in my mind. My man, you know, you go to work, you expect normal little hazards in life. You know what I'm saying? You might get a little paper cut if you work in the office. You know, you might trip on a wet floor or somebody mob, you know, the janitor mob. Might burn yourself with the coffee maker, you know, something like that, right? But what my man's went through here, just completely out of nowhere, and it was egregious, dog. Like it was highly aggressive. Jay, you got that clip, dog?
Yeah. Hold on 1 second. Share the screen. Oh. Hold on.
Uh-oh.
Technical.
We're having technical difficulties, ladies and gentlemen.
Uh-oh.
That's not a bingo.
Definitely not a bingo right now.
Third time is a charm. Let's try this again.
Intros aren't the big thing here.
Con la eliminación de la vecchia señora de la Juve, cuando todo el mundo
this much.
Buddy, you're a young man, hard man, shouting in the street. You're gonna take on the world someday. You got blood on.
Bro, look at that.
That's so bad. That's so bad.
You got biffed in the mouth.
Dog. That was like the ugly, bro. I'm sitting there and I'm watching this highlight and I'm like, okay, like what's about to really go on? And then you see it and you're just like, man, no freaking way. Like it literally came out of nowhere the first time I saw it. And then it brought me to this clip here that just was like, okay.
I broke my back. What do you mean by that? Your back is broken.
What, a vertebrae or what portion?
Spinal.
Not the spinal.
Spinal. What do you, bro? Like, what you didn't see in that video was like the guy that's running the show, sitting at the middle head of the table. He just does one of these. He sees it happen, and then he's like,
he just nonchalant.
Does not move, does not check on the dude. He's just sitting there like,
Didn't he? I mean, I don't speak fluent Spanish, but didn't he say we're going to break? We'll be right back.
Either that or
Something
yeah,
broke.
he said something
He
got
said
broke.
something like that.
We'll be right back because that was horrendous.
Oh my
That was
god,
terrible.
dude.
Seeing my man's get crushed like that, not something you expect to see, especially on ESPN. But leave it to those Colombians to do something crazy like that. It was just out of pocket for sure, boy. So because ESPN don't know how to put a set together effectively, safely, and you got stuff like that going down, y'all get this week's WTF Moment of the Week. What the?
Oh man.
Now we go on to some NFL news that broke yesterday, Sunday. As of this recording, I was out and about and I saw this on one of the screens. Drew Brees has called it a career after 20 years in the NFL.
Yep.
And when you think about his career, I mean, I consider him one of the greats.
Mm-hmm.
I don't consider him in the top 5. I might not even have him in my top 10.
Wow.
Wow, really?
But he's one of the greatest to ever do it for sure.
But when you say not even in the top 10, you're talking about the top 10 of all time.
Yeah,
You're
all
not talking
time.
about recent quarterbacks right now.
Recent quarterbacks before last year, I would probably put him easily in the top 10. Maybe even in the top 6 or 7. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, just with his injuries and his age and everything, he did not age as gracefully as Tom Brady did. Let's just say that. But then again, nobody really has.
Right.
But I would consider him one of the greatest to ever do it. He spent 5 years with the Chargers. A lot of people forget that.
Yep.
He got to play with LaDainian Tomlinson.
Mm-hmm.
And then he spent 15 with the Saints. And when he went to the Saints, I mean, they totally embraced him in New Orleans, and he embraced the city, and he made that his city.
Yep.
After the hurricane went down,
Look at Jay.
he after the hurricane went down, you know, he stood with the Saints. He was due to leave. You know what I'm saying? Like his contract was up, and he re-signed and said he did it because he loved New Orleans and he couldn't see himself anywhere else. He did have that controversial kerfluffle with some of the players.
Go ahead, Jay.
You know,
It looks like you got something to say. Go.
Kneeling, and he said that he could not respect a man that knelt during the national anthem because of everything his family has done for the country, military wise.
Okay.
Go ahead, bro.
Go ahead, bro.
I mean,
go ahead, angry black man.
Hold on. First of all, I don't speak for the black race or anything like that. First of all, let's get that out there.
With the black delegation.
This is just me and my thoughts. But him coming from a military background, I come from a military background as well. The way my dad dropped it on us is, I fought for your right to do whatever you wanted. Like, I'm not gonna tell you not to kneel, to kneel. Do whatever's in your heart.
Let it out.
Let it out. Do what you think is right. Basically. That's what my dad told us.
Yeah.
So that's just the way I feel and look at it. I don't, to each his own, bro. I don't know.
But let's not get lost in that. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're here to talk about and celebrate a guy that did so much for his team, so much for the NFL, so much for the city of New Orleans.
Yep.
I mean, the guy was a class act both on and off the field. He led by example.
Right.
He was truly a captain of the team. And when you think of the Saints moving forward, Drew Brees will always and forever be synonymous with the New Orleans Saints. Good, bad, or indifferent. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Who? Let me ask you guys this: where does he stand for you guys? And I'll start with Julio. Like, where would you rank him in your top 5, 10? Would he be there? Would he not?
Of all time?
Of all time.
If we're talking all time, then I definitely would have to agree with you. I wouldn't consider him in the top 10, not even in the top 10 of all time. Because, I mean, when you're talking about all time, you're talking about all the greats, Joe Montana, you know,
Right.
Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers, you know, those guys of that caliber. Not saying that he's not great. He did do a lot of stuff for the NFL, a lot of stuff for the New Orleans Saints. I mean, hell, he helped them win a Super Bowl. Didn't say he won the Super Bowl for him, but he helped them win a Super Bowl. So, I mean, and again, back to what you were saying, I don't think you could ever think about the Saints moving forward without mentioning the name Drew Brees. You'll never be able to say anything that happened positively for the Saints without mentioning the name Drew Brees. Drew Brees will be forever stapled as one of the great, you know, New Orleans Saint players that ever played for the New Orleans Saints. So, I mean, for me, he was a great quarterback. I respect his career. I respect everything that he's done for the game. I respect his game in general. I mean,
He's
from
Texas. He's a Texas boy.
For a little guy, I mean, look how far he got. He's a smaller quarterback, and look how far he was able and the accolades he was able to achieve at that position. So, I mean, to me, he is a great quarterback. Would I consider him, you know, greatest of all time? Can't really put him in that category.
But he's also one of those quarterbacks that I talk about a lot of. He can make the people around him better. He makes the team better. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely.
Like, we've had our talks about Dak and stuff and you know, other quarterbacks, and do they pass that test? Like, do they need a squad around them to be great, or do they make the squad around them better? And Brees was one of those guys that just made everybody better. He made household names out of nobodies.
Yeah.
And if you think about it, who has he really played with in New Orleans that was just great? He has Michael Thomas, Jimmy Graham was there, and Alvin Kamara was there. But who else? Like, who was that rock star that you were just like, oh, you know, Breeze and so-and-so are tearing it up? He didn't have a lot of that, but he still made it work.
Yeah.
So that's why, to me, you know, he is one of the greatest to ever do it. What about you, Jay? Where does he rank for you, man? Like, do you have him in your top 10, in your top 5? I mean, where does he stand with you?
Not in my top 5. He did have Reggie Williams. Who else did he have?
Who was Reggie Williams?
Oh, Ricky. Excuse me.
Ricky Williams was on drugs, and you were probably with him if you call him Reggie Williams.
Hey,
Ricky Williams was there in the Ditka era when he was wearing a dress on Sports Illustrated or whatever magazine that was.
Don't disrespect him like that.
Come
He
on,
also
fam.
had Reggie Bush. I got Reggie and Ricky mixed up, but you know
Who is Reggie?
this guy.
I mean, Reggie Bush was great in college, but he wasn't anything just
Zeke was great in
abnormally
college,
special.
and what the is he doing now?
Oh, I don't know. He just had like how many seasons of rushing titles, but we won't talk about that.
yeah.
We won't bring that up.
Yeah.
I forgot how many
had
Reggie
COVID.
Bush had.
He had COVID. Shut up.
He did have COVID. He did have COVID.
Anyway,
I'm glad you acknowledged that.
let me change the camera to myself.
Yeah, would you please?
I wouldn't say he's top 5, maybe. He's probably number 10 or 11 all time.
Is Troy Aikman in your top 5?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, then you're already wrong. So
No,
Wow.
no, I'm not.
Wow.
No, I'm not.
You're already wrong.
No, sir. Who's your top 5 since we're on it?
Oh,
I mean,
are we going to this now?
we're not gonna do our top 5
No
right now.
No, do a
because
top
we're
5.
talking about Drew
Since
Brees.
I'm wrong.
All I asked was, do you
Hold
have
on.
Troy Aikman ahead of Drew Brees? That's all I asked.
And I'm wrong for that. So,
yes.
Who's in your top 5?
It's not about top 5. It's, Julio?
Who
Do
do
you
you
think
have?
Troy Aikman was better than Drew Brees?
Yes, I do.
You do.
Yeah.
Based on what?
On accuracy, no, it's just not based on Super Bowls. I mean, the guy Troy Aikman was an accurate quarterback. I don't think I've ever seen another quarterback more accurate than his, besides Aaron Rodgers. But
don't let Gerald play the Troy Aikman to Michael Irvin video that he plays for me, trying to hype up Troy Aikman, because I swear to you, it opens up your eyes. Bro, I don't want to poo-poo on Drew Brees' segment, but this is really starting to piss me off.
Here we go.
That Gerald tries to hype up Aikman as this great quarterback.
But see, I wouldn't consider Troy Aikman to be.
But when you see the ball throwing, I was like, oof.
Don't get me wrong. He had good talent around him. You had Michael Irving. You had Alvin Harper,
Emmitt
Smith,
the greatest offensive line in the NFL history.
That too, Jay Novacek. So I mean, you had great players on that team, but I'm not going to take nothing away from Troy. Troy was a good quarterback, a damn good quarterback, and accurate. So, I mean,
Julio. Let me ask you this question.
Did he have the stats that Drew Brees has?
No, he doesn't.
Okay,
that's all I'm saying.
But let me ask you this
question. You're gonna base it off of stats?
Did Drew Brees do those numbers with Hall of Famers just drowning him? Exactly.
No,
just drowning him.
Exactly.
So Aikman had nothing to do with Irving getting in. I said
Irvin.
I said that.
You said Irving.
I did not say Irving.
Yes, you did.
Irvin.
Irvin.
No,
Irvin.
Michael Irvin.
White Mike. You know who I'm talking about.
See, bro. Cocaine is a hell of a drug.
Julio. You're going to tell me. Now, I'm leaving you on the big screen because I want you to answer this.
Okay.
Would Mike be in the Hall of Fame without Aikman?
No. But neither would Troy Aikman wouldn't be in the Hall of Fame if it wasn't for Michael Irvin either. So
correct.
Or Alvin Harper or Jay Novacek or any of those guys. So I mean, it goes both ways. Again, that's why football is a team sport. It'll never just be based off of the talent off of one guy. I mean, there's far few in between players that can honestly say, I got to the Hall of Fame because of what I did only. I mean, it was a team effort. All the guys that ever make it to the Hall, they always talk about how, my teammates made me great. This was why I was able to perform at the level that I was able to perform and do the things that I was able to do, was because of my teammates around me. It wasn't just all me. Now, a lot of people will say, oh, it's them just being humble and not trying to take any credit for it. But at the end of the day, it's true. And any great offensive lineman that's ever made it to the Hall, any defensive player, offensive player, whatever you want to call it, any player made it to the Hall always had somebody to help them get there. And I love the fact that they're always saying, hey, even when Troy made it to the Hall, Michael was one of the first ones to say, you know what, he deserves to be there. He is a great quarterback. He is this, he is that. All those guys say the same thing about each other, because They know they help each
because
other.
they play together.
Exactly. Well, no, it's not
And
just
they
because
won
of
3
that.
Super Bowls together.
And well, something else.
So you
that,
say that it was only because of that, because they won 3 Super Bowls together, they made it to the
Right.
Hall?
I don't ever hear Troy Aikman like, "Oh, Rocket was one of the greatest wide receivers. Joey Galloway was just one of the greatest people I ever played with."
No.
Those guys didn't help him do anything. He didn't win anything with those guys.
Well, he
You're
won.
right.
He won one with Dion, correct?
Yeah. True.
Dion was only here for one, right?
Okay.
I believe. He still supports Dion to this day. He was at his game, his first college football game.
Dion helped him win a title. Dion is he's a freak of nature. The guy played baseball, won a World Series and a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
That guy was
He's an athlete. He's a baller.
He was a
I understand
phenom.
that. I understand that.
He didn't need anybody to make him great.
Nobody
That's
said,
a guy
I
who didn't
say
need
that.
anybody to make Dion great.
And yet
Nobody
he still
said
gives
that.
credit to every team that he's played for, every teammate that he's had. That's like Joe's saying, and to back Joe up, any team that he's ever won a Super Bowl with, he thanks those teammates that were on that team, always, and the coaches too.
I'm gonna call in a hate crime on y'all.
Okay. on a white guy. Okay.
Gaming up on a black guy. I see how it's gonna be.
I mean, let's just keep it real, but yeah, man.
Let's get back to Drew.
I think Drew he set the standard for New Orleans quarterbacks. I think he set the standard in New Orleans. Period. He was a very solid representative of that team, of that town, and I don't know what New Orleans is going to look like with Jameis Winston and Taysom Hill kind of battling it out for the starting role.
Who do you think is going to get that starting role?
I think Jameis is going to get the starting role.
You don't think that in the draft they'll reach out to see if they can pick somebody up new, or maybe even possibly trade somebody for him, for a quarterback or anything?
I mean,
like that?
What are you going to roll with that's out there? You know what I'm saying? Like
Russ?
I don't think New Orleans has the.
I was about to say the same thing, Russ.
They don't have the draft picks, and I mean, who are you going to give up for Russ? You think Seattle wants Jameis Winston or Taysom Hill?
I think they would take.
I mean,
Taysom.
You probably have to give up like Michael Thomas or Alvin Kamara plus some picks to even start to have that conversation, and then you still leave Seattle without a quarterback.
Would it be worth it though?
No.
To get Russ?
I mean, for the Saints it would, but that doesn't benefit the Seahawks because they still wouldn't have a quarterback.
They would have Taysom.
So they still wouldn't have a quarterback.
What do you mean?
Bro, he's not a quarterback. He's a Swiss Army knife. He does everything.
Exactly.
Jack of all trades and a master of none. That's what he is.
There you go.
It does you no good when you're that.
No,
Trust me.
at all. Especially at a position as important as quarterback. So
very true.
I salute Drew Brees for his 20 years of service in the NFL. I think that's a guy that you can show your kids and say, hey, man, if you're into football, if you aspire to be like anybody in the NFL, that's the guy you want to aspire to be like.
Troy Aikman.
Bro, did a desk fall on your head? Is that what happened?
Are you?
Did you break your back?
I broke my back. It's
Spinal. So yeah, man, it's a sad farewell for the guy. But I'm interested to see what the Saints do. I'm interested to see if they make any moves. Free agency is open. And that division is looking tough, especially with Tampa Bay there. Tom Brady just signed. He signed a 4-year deal.
4-year, bro. What I tell you?
4 years.
He
What I tell
might
you.
see 2 more of those years. He
He-
might.
He's
So,
getting. I'm telling you, back to back.
it's
They
not
might
gonna
even do a
happen.
3-peat.
It's not going to happen.
Wow.
You don't think so?
Nah.
That's
And
bold.
Gronk just signed another 1-year deal.
I'm telling you,
So
it's
I
game
think
time, boys.
I think until otherwise proven, I think Tampa Bay is still the team to beat in that division. I don't believe in Carolina and Atlanta's. I don't know. They're hit or miss. So Drew Brees stepping away does open up that division because he's a big part of it. But
It's gonna be the Brady show.
we're gonna see. We're gonna see. But
Brady bunch.
moving on, we're gonna do something. You know, something that like I said, if you were born in the 80s, this is nostalgia time for you. I bring this up because
Thanks for telling everybody our age. You know,
For real.
I appreciate
I mean, you know,
Thank you.
I'm,
We
I'm
old
not
as hell.
I'm not hiding it at all
Jesus.
at this
No.
point. There's no way to
We
hide it.
old. We're old.
I bring this topic up to you guys just because, you know, I'm big on video games. Always have been. It's just kind of been like a hobby for me, a little way to pass the time. Especially, you know, I did just get the PS5. And
Congratulations.
that. It's humble bragging.
But I tell you, I got the PS5, but then I looked at the graphics and I was just like, man, this thing is light years ahead of where we started, or at least where I started. I started with the Intellivision, and then I moved on to the Nintendo Entertainment System, NES, if you will, and I will. And I just got to thinking, man, video games has come such a long way, and I started reminiscing like on all the games that I used to play, and I just wanted to kind of go around the room and just kind of gauge their memories of it, and just do a top 3 favorite NES games that you guys played. I'm assuming you guys all played the NES.
Yes. Yes.
And just kind of gauge your interest, like where were you on that? So Jay, because you look like you're gonna cry, I'll let you go first. What's your number 3, dog?
My number 3 would be Double Dribble. The reason why it's number 3, that was one of the first games that me and my brother ever got for NES. And I remember learning, if you're beating your older brother, he will turn off the game. He will hit reset, unplug your controller. Like, he'll do whatever he can to win. I can't hear you, brother.
That was one of the biggest things ever, was hitting the reset button or pulling on the controller so that the thing would glitch.
Yep.
Or hitting the power button, just anything. If you were losing,
Yep.
But on the flip side of that, those were the controllers you could throw and they'd never break.
Oh, hell yeah.
No, I still have NES controllers somewhere. Like the original. I'm sure
I still have my NES, man.
I'm sure they're at my parents' house somewhere. But yeah, Double Dribble is number 3 for me. Like I said, when we got the NES, my brother and I both we put our money together, got the NES, and then the only thing we could afford was one more game. And he was into basketball at that time, so we got Double Dribble, and then I started double dribbling on his ass, and it was always, I would have to go to my mom and be like, Mom, Charlie's restarting the game again. He's unplugging the game. Bro, it was tough. That It was tough growing up with a older brother.
Good times though. Good times.
Good times. Good times.
What about you, Julio? What was your number 3?
Number 3 for me. I mean, again, kind of like you guys, I played a lot of video games growing up, and the NES was one of the systems that we did have when it came out. So for me, though, out of all the games that I played on the NES, number 3 would probably have to go to Mike Tyson's Punch-Out. Loved playing that game, even though it was a
Uh-oh.
It was what?
What? What? What?
What?
What?
What?
What?
He gone. I think he gone.
He's stuck.
Oh no.
What?
He's stuck.
What?
He's not moving.
What?
He's frozen.
What?
He is incapacitated.
What?
So we'll do this. I'll do my number 3. My number 3 is Kung Fu. Kung Fu was my number 3. Yeah. So Kung Fu was the one where you're walking with this little ninja guy down a hallway, and basically you have guys coming at you from both sides of the screen. And you had later on you had snakes, and then you had these beehives that would explode, and you're trying to rescue your girlfriend. All the Nintendo games had something to do with
like
rescuing a girl. Yeah,
a princess or a girl or
right.
What's going on with that? They were obsessed with that, huh? That's crazy.
Like that was such an original premise. You're gonna rescue a damsel in distress.
Yeah, pretty much.
So that was mine. As a matter of fact, if you don't remember it, I'm gonna give you a quick rundown of it.
Yeah, I don't remember this.
You don't remember that?
No, I don't.
I played this at the arcade, at the pool hall when my dad would go shoot pool.
What were you doing in a pool hall?
Watching my dad shoot
How
pool.
old
dog.
were you?
Oh, I was probably like 7, 8 years old.
In a smoky ass pool hall?
Yeah, in a beer joint.
Bro.
Yeah.
Wow.
We were it was a different time back then.
Things have changed, bro. I told you. When I was 7, I could go buy cigarettes for my dad across the street.
Bruh, my mom would pull up and give me money in my hand and be like, go buy me some cigarettes, Marlboro Reds in a box.
Yep.
And the guy would just sell them. Then it got a little more tough, and he was like, where's your mom? And I'd be, she's right there. And
she have to be waving.
Yeah, she'd be waving. And that was the code for sell this cat some cigarettes. So,
bro, anytime I went to go pick up some from my dad across the street from where we lived, it was a Middle Eastern family that ran the store, and actually they were Saudi Arabian. And I know they would always ask me, and I'm sure it was like a joke, these aren't for you, are they? Like, come on, bro. I'm not 7 smoking cigarettes, bro.
Bro, I don't even know where I would acquire money for my cigarette habit.
Me neither. It was always 2 Pepsis. Give me 2 Pepsis and a pack of Cools. Soft pack.
A pack of Cools.
So, yeah.
Bro, man, I was telling you with the NES, dog, just kind of going back to this. With the NES, I remember my cousin got it first.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember his dad, we were at their house. His dad pulls up and he gets the big old box out of the car, and it's got the Zapper, it's got the NES, it's got the Mario and Duck Hunt, and I'm just like, wow, like look at that. That is freaking awesome. It's got 2 controllers.
Right.
Like, dude, I just thought that was the most amazing thing ever.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember playing the NES at his house and just telling my parents, like, I want that. I want that. And then I finally got one. And then it was spending your birthdays. Back when they were around, we would go to Toys R Us.
Mm-hmm.
They'd take you to Toys R Us on your birthday.
Yep.
And they'd be like, you can buy any video game that you want. Back then, Toys R Us just had a picture of the game cover. And then they had a pouch with like a little ticket. And that ticket, you take it up to the front.
Yep.
They'd scan it, and then they'd bring you the actual video game. So
it was like behind. It was like in a cabinet behind in the manager's office. Like, yeah,
like you were not stealing those games.
Yeah.
And the only caveat to that was you had $20, so you had to not only pick from a certain game price.
Yeah.
But then you had to make sure that that $20 was spent on a game that you liked,
bro.
Because if you bought a game based on the cover, like the cover art would be misleading. You'd see a game and you'd be like, "Oh man, that looks tight. I'm getting that." And then you buy it and take it home, and then you're playing it for like 10 minutes, and you're like, "Bro, this is trash."
And the graphics are totally different, completely different.
Like, it doesn't look anything. It doesn't look anything like the box.
Yeah.
And you're sitting there like, I just wasted my birthday present on some hot trash that you're
now you
never
gotta wait a whole year before you can get another one.
or you hope somebody sends you birthday money.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Bro, that was so tragic. And then you'd have the other games that you just played and you wore them out, and then you had to start doing what? Bro, you had to blow on the cartridge. You had to bang the cartridge.
Push it down on the edge. On the edge
Bro,
of the
first thing you said, do not rub it with alcohol. You get like a Q-tip with some alcohol and clean the inside.
Yep.
You had to put the thing down and then jiggle it left and right and push reset until it finally played.
Yep.
Dog, the struggle was real. Nowadays, you come home, you put in a disc and you wait for it to download and you're done.
Yep.
Back in the day, you had to work to play your game. You didn't just turn the power button on and it just worked.
It was a whole workout. You had a routine. If you messed up that routine, it wasn't gonna work.
Just was not operational at that point.
Well, I guess we ain't playing Nintendo today. We're done.
Blowing in the machine, blowing on the cartridge, anything, you reset, like, bro, it was a different time, but look at the character it made in all of this. So let's do this. Julio said his number 3 was Mike Tyson's Punch Out. We'll go to our number 2. What's your number 2 all-time favorite NES game, bro?
Number 2. All time. We're talking about all time.
All time.
I don't remember if this was NES or Sega. They kind of merged for me. But it was a game. I think it was called like Narco or something like
Narc. It was called Narc.
Was it Narc?
Yeah.
Bro, that game, I believe it was NES. I can't remember. But I remember playing that at Tilt. And that was the game, bro. I never knew what needles were, but you could throw needles at people.
I'm gonna assume this is it. I'm just guessing though.
There he is. He's back.
There you go.
There you go.
Hey, what's going on, guys? Sorry, my computer just kind of on me real quick.
Yes, that's the game, bro.
That it?
Yep, that's it. Bro, that used to be my shit. That was my game.
What number y'all on now? Number 2?
Number 2. They're throwing needles at you.
Knives. Those are knives, bro.
No, they're like syringes. At least I thought they were syringes.
I think those are knives. Oh no, they're shooting. You see the gun coming out of his hand?
Mm-mm.
Look at their hands. The guns come out.
Oh, okay.
Are those some kind of blow darts? I can't tell.
I don't know, but that was my game, bro. You got to
Narc.
drive around in a Porsche.
My man said Narcos.
I said Narco.
That's aggressive. All right, Julio, what's your number 2? Since you said Mike Tyson's Punch Out was your number 3.
Yeah, I said Mike Tyson's Punch Out was my number 3. My number 2, damn. Number 2 would probably have to go to Contra. That was one of my other favorite games to play all the time. So Contra would be my number 2 for me.
Bro, I remember Contra being just stupid hard.
The first one wasn't that bad. It was
like
the
that was
second
one of the games
was.
that I was like, bro, this is this may not be for me. But a lot of Nintendo games were made like that, dog. A lot of Nintendo games were hella hard.
Hell yeah, they were.
Yep.
But I think the thing that I loved the most of it was just the fact that, one, that you could play with 2 players, and then 2, you were just running around shooting people. Basically, that's all it was. It was like a run and gun type of game. So
Up,
that's
down,
all you
down,
were
left,
doing.
right, A, B, start.
Oh yeah.
Dim graphics though.
They was off the chain back then. Oh yeah. Totally whiffed the bridge.
Whiffed it. Yeah, bro, that was a hard one. I remember the what was it? The Konami code? Was it Konami code?
Konami.
I remember they had a code for it, but I can't remember what it was anymore.
Yeah, it was. It was a Konami code.
Yeah.
It was a up, down, left, right, BA start.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was the Konami code. That was the only way I was going to beat that game was by getting infinite
Ultimate
lives.
Yeah.
There was no other way to beat that game for me.
You mean to tell me you never got a game
That's
Genie?
right. It was up, down, left, right.
We were too poor for
the Game Genie.
For a Game Genie.
Bro, you remember? Wait, what was the Game Genie?
The Game Genie was like a cartridge that you put in and you entered like the codes for it. Like you would pick what game it was and then it had the codes.
Oh, yep. I was going to bring up gaming magazines that had the cheat codes in them.
Oh, yeah.
The Nintendo Power.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then Game Informer down the line.
Bro, my parents would get so upset. What are all these damn gaming magazines coming to the house?
They made you sign up for it at GameStop, dog. Like, I can't tell you how many hundreds of magazines I have piled up and I've thrown away from Game Informer.
Well, this was before GameStop. I remember.
Yeah, that was like the Nintendo Power, dog.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You bought that for all the new games and the codes, and
yeah,
they had a hotline that you could call and they'd walk you through it.
Yep.
Yeah.
I remember that.
Anytime my parents or my mom went grocery shopping, I would be in the magazine aisle looking at gaming magazines. Mom, can I get this? She's like, yeah, you got to help get groceries, go to this aisle, get that, whatever.
Right.
I'll get it for you. It's like,
Dog. I remember you could go almost to any grocery store, some appliance stores, and you could rent Nintendo games. Like you didn't just get your Nintendo games at like Blockbuster. You could go to Montgomery Ward's. You could go to back in the day it was not Sack and Save, it was
Sack and Save.
Max. It was Max Food and Drugs.
Oh.
Are
you talking about on South Side?
On 303?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
they're in Beltline. You could go, you'd go to Jar Nintendo, and
I remember that.
you could rent games or buy games there.
Yeah.
That was a solid stop on Christmas Day. He was open on Christmas.
Bro, I never knew.
And-
I never knew about Jar Nintendo. I knew about Funko Land. That's what I knew about.
Bro, Jar Nintendo was local to Grand Prairie,
Yep.
and my man's had everything you could ever need. And he'd give you a deal on it. He wouldn't charge you full price. He'd be like, "What can you do?" And he'd help you out, bro.
Yeah. I remember that place.
Like
I used
that
to
was
go there all
legit.
the time.
Or if you didn't want to go to Blockbuster, you could go to a hole in the wall movie rental place called Silver Screen Video,
Man,
which
bro.
no longer exists.
At all. I remember that place.
Bro, I'd go to Silver Screen and rent the games. Back then, you get them for like 5 days. 5
Yeah.
days for $5.
Yeah.
Yep. I remember that.
And that was your time to demo a game and figure, like, if you couldn't commit your full $20 to a game, you'd go to Silver Screen and be like, "Let me rent it, and if it's good,
I'll buy it.
then I'll go buy it."
I remember doing that.
That was your trial period.
But for us poor people, we would try to beat the game within the 5
Right.
days.
Right. We moved on to like PlayStation and Nintendo 64 games at that point.
Yeah.
And we're just like, we'll just try to beat it. We'll beat it as quick as we can.
Yeah. I
So,
remember doing that.
bro, those are the. And if you're from Grand Prairie, Texas, and you remember Silver Screen, you lived right. That's all I'm saying. You lived a good life. So, my number 2 is it's a 2-player game, like you said, Julio. It's a beat 'em up, and I just like the theme song just takes me to another place, man. And as soon as you hear it, you'll know what I'm talking about. And it was this one. Bruh. You cannot go wrong with
The
Double
Double
Dragon.
Dragon. The Double Dragon.
bro. That game was so frustrating. That took a lot of my quarters at the arcade. For sure was Double Dragon. You had the two brothers, Billy and I can't remember who the other guy was. We'll call him Jimmy. Was it Jimmy and Billy?
Jimmy and Billy.
I'm guessing.
You're gonna just name them Jimmy and Billy.
Yeah. I mean, to me, it sounds right. It was. I don't know. It doesn't say. It's not important.
It's not important, yeah.
But yeah, man, that was the game, dog. Like playing Double Dragon, that theme song, you just knew it was time to get crunk when you heard that going. So to me, my number 2, Double Dragon. Don't sleep on it. And now we're moving on, boys, to our number 1s. These are the creme de la cremes for your list. So make it a good one. Jay, I'm starting with you. What is your number 1?
I'm gonna have to pass. I'm gonna have to think on this one. I'm passing.
Julio, what's your number 1?
Man, again, back just saying, there's a ton of NES games that I would love to pick as number 1, but I already know some of you guys are going to pick Mario 3 as your number 1, so I'm not even going to go there with any of the Mario games. So if I had to pick an NES game to be my number 1, I think I'm going to go with Tecmo Bowl Super Bowl. It's one of my favorite games to play all the time. I never got tired of playing it. And it was just one of those games that I could replay over and over and over again, no matter how many times I played it. It was one of my favorite games to play. And again, I guess that has to do with, us growing up playing football for so long,
right.
and being into that, back then playing with Bo Jackson and, and Walter Payton, picking those teams, even though we were avid Cowboy fans, you would pick the Bears or the Raiders because you already knew they had the best running backs.
Those teams didn't suck in the
80s. But yeah, I mean, that was one of my favorite games to play. And I would have to, if I had to pick any other game, I would have to pick that one.
So you said Tecmo Super Bowl. Tecmo Super Bowl. And right here, we got a little something for you. If we can get that.
If this will oh, bro. Hell yeah.
Them graphics, though.
Oh, yeah.
The 49ers, back when the 49ers were bomb.
Hell yeah.
Bro, Barry Sanders and
the Lions.
Lawrence Taylor and the Giants. You knew that was LT.
Oh, yeah.
Did Julio leave?
No.
He
I
gone.
don't think so.
Jay, I'm going back to you, brother. What's your number one? What is your numero uno?
El numero uno would have to be Rampage.
Wow.
Ooh.
Wow. Taking it back.
Taking it back.
Like when The Rock was in it?
No. This is when Rampage was actually awesome and good before it was a movie. That suck-ass movie.
Hey, bro, I don't think the movie was that bad.
It was pretty good. It was decent. It wasn't the greatest movie of all time, but it was decent.
I think the arcade version was better than NES, but it was.
Were you
fun.
the monkey or the lizard?
You racist mother.
Bro, I'm just asking.
I was the lizard, sir. Majority of the time.
That's because you look like a Ninja Turtle.
A Ninja Turtle with freckles? Oh, they have freckles.
Bro, I know why you like this game, because you go around hangry, just eating everything and beating people up.
Yep, beating everybody up. Throwing helicopters.
That's hella aggressive.
Yes, sir. Yes,
bro,
sir.
I was gonna go with a Mario game.
I'm surprised that you're not.
That's too easy, man.
But there is another game that I absolutely enjoyed. It was two different ones that I enjoyed. So the first one was this one here, and it was a wrestling game. Surprise, surprise.
Bro, if you say pro wrestling. Yep. There's two of them though. Tecmo.
Yeah. Tecmo was the other one, and I'm about to show that one next. And who was my favorite guy on this game? This guy right here.
The Starman?
Starman.
Why? Because
Not
he
only
was
because
Mexican?
he looked cool, but he was Mexican.
He was Mexican.
And then you had...
Bro, oh my God, I remember this.
Wow.
I was like the only...
Yeah.
No.
Referee right in position to make the count. Irish whip into the flying elbow of death. Yeah, bro.
Bro,
So
I
it was
remember
that
playing
one?
this at Tilt as well.
It was that one, and it was this one. This one was the more advanced one, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And I also liked El Tigre. He was also from Mexico.
Why? Because he was from Mexico.
Yeah. Oh, you would do the squats?
Did you always put your initials in the beginning?
Look at that. Hella squats.
Bro, how did we play these games and think, oh man, this is
Straight
awesome.
fire, fam. Look at that. A Dragon. Look at that, fam.
How in the world,
The
bro?
suplex.
To the Cesaro swing. Look at that. Bro, this was fire. I don't care what you say. Yep. Bro, you can't tell me that didn't slap.
Bro,
It did.
that was so long ago. Remember when we used to look at those games and we used to think, man, the
Look
graphics,
how real it
bro.
looks.
Look at how, yeah, man, this is so awesome. What
Look
the
at
hell?
how real it looks.
Bro, that did not look like reality whatsoever.
No. But when we played it back in the day,
Oh, it was.
it was like, oh, that's legit, bro. Like,
We gave true meaning to the word imagination.
you better have it if you're playing those games. But yeah, my honorable mention would have been Super Mario 3. But those two wrestling games, I was big on wrestling, especially as a kid. So
Yeah.
those two wrestling games, they set the precedent for like WCW versus NWO.
Bro, that was game.
Now those games slap. When you saw those games, you were like, "Ooh, look how this 3D.
Yeah.
Look how real that looks."
That was a
Now you
different
look
level.
at it, it's like trash. But they played so great. So
Yeah.
that's our top 3 NES nostalgia, run back, reminiscence, whatever you want to call it, for the podcast. So
Taking y'all back.
what do you guys think? We're getting close to the end now. Do you guys want to hit this bro code, or you want to save it for next time? It's up to you.
I think we should hit it next time. I got my job calling already, talking about get back to work. So
Wow.
So we got a bro code. We will get to it next week. We've gone about an hour. So just before we let everybody go, thank you guys again for watching, listening, commenting, subscribing. If you want to reach out, we do have a Facebook page. We do have an IG page. I don't know if Gerald can throw those at the bottom somewhere, if possible. Maybe not. Oh, there they go. That's our
There it is.
Facebook page.
There you go.
So check us out, reach out, show us some love. We'll show you some back.
Oh
Be
yeah.
on the lookout for the videos, and we will do it again next week. Holla at your boy. Peace. Peace. Outro's on our thing yet either.
Deuce. We out.
We gone.